Hello, everybody. How are you doing tonight? I am Peter Brown, and this is FMTV Weekly. Thanks so much for joining us. We should have some fun tonight. Just FYI, we are waiting on the late arrival of His Majesty, everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Ed. So he should hopefully join us at some point in the show, but that won't stop us from having a good time talking about Inter Miami and any other local soccer. For example, Miami FC, they won on the road as well. So good all around for Miami. Bad for Fort Lauderdale CF, they lost, but can't win them all. But thanks so much everybody for joining. We should have some fun tonight. Finally, we can celebrate some more victories. I mean, it feels like, I say finally, but we've been having victories lately, but it was such a long stretch with no victories that, words like finally come out just naturally, which is, not good because they're on a good run. All right. But like we said in the title of the show, can you smell the playoffs? Can you smell what's cooking? And it's funny, it's ironic that I named the show that, and at the same time, Phil Neville mentioned something about smelling, success or something like that in his post-game comments. My titling the episode, Smelling Something, had nothing to do with that. Pure coincidence. My wife was making breakfast. Things were smelling good in the house. Thought maybe playoffs smell good. But all right, so let's before we get too far, let's do our normal thing and say a big thank you to Caneswear. Caneswear is where you can go and get this awesome shirt that I am wearing, the 305 shirt. Great selection of Inter Miami gear. Mention FMTV and you will get a discount, 10% off. Mention you want to go online, caneswear.com, go FMTV10, and you will get 10% off. Go visit the store, hang out with the guys there a little bit. A lot of fun, good people. So go support a local business that is, one of the few that's they've got a great selection of Inter Miami. Not just the shirts and stuff. You want like little tchotchkes, a little stickers or something like that for Inter Miami. They got it. They got it all. And like I said, they got this cool shirt. I like this shirt. They got it. It's a Canes exclusive. So let's say hi to some of you guys in the chat, and I'm going to need some help tonight. So, let me throw this up here. 786-474-4435. Give us a call and help us out tonight. And, let your voice be heard. Give us your thoughts on the game. And some thoughts. I have another topic I want to bring up, something we've all been kind of hearing about, ownership change. Stuff like that. So I want to talk a little bit about that because there's something that's something that looks interesting that we saw this weekend. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But let's talk about the game first. But before we even do that, let's say hi to you guys. First one in the house is B King. Welcome, B King. Footballer is here. Judge Dredd as always. And he's happy we're starting to get some points we need. And one world, one goal, as always. And she left a voicemail, so we will get to that voicemail soon. One world, one goal. Listen, I was walking out of the stadium. I wasn't even in my car yet. I'm walking out of the stadium, and I hear my phone going off. It's one world, one goal. Right after the game, call in to give her a fresh, hot take about the game. And you guys could do that too. You could save this number 786-474-4435 in your phone and give us a call anytime you want, and we will play it over the weekend on Sunday's show. But literally, it brought a smile to my face. I'm sitting here walking out of the stadium, and then I see my phone ringing. So I thought that was kind of cool. Jose Velasquez, welcome. We're almost there to the playoffs. Esteban Dido. Watch the full game. Still, the team has a lot to improve. Of course. Let's not get overexcited. Diego Garcia, welcome. Kata was at the stadium and he took a friend for the first time. Big soccer fan, not just but not familiar with MLS. Well, hopefully this game represented well for your friend. All right, and that's about it in the chat. If you're watching, you haven't said hi in the chat, please do so, and we will give you a little shout out. But yeah, so I along with Kata was at the game this weekend, and it was definitely a lot of fun. It was a game that I knew going in was gonna be just a fun game. You know, that Columbus is not the Columbus of last year, right? They're the reigning MLS Cup champs, but they're not playing like that right now. They've had a lot of injuries, and I mean, like, look, Zelleran, he's a great player. They still got great players. Zardes is just coming back from injury. He came in the second half, but they're definitely a good team, and we're kind of, you know, on the rise. We still got a lot of issues, but we're seeing improvements. And that's really, at this point, we hit so rock bottom that's all you can really expect and hope for is to see some improvement. And we're moving in the right direction. If we could make the playoffs, this season is a success. Now, had at the start of the season, we might have said something a little more braggadocious, that we should go higher in the playoffs. We should make MLS go. We should, you know, get further in playoffs, maybe make the cup or something like that. We might be a little more braggadocious. But after getting slapped in the face a little bit and seeing how this team performed in the first half of the season, you know, our expectations are lowered a little bit. And now just making the playoffs would be a huge accomplishment for this. Good footballer has yet to go to any game. How much is parking? Parking, footballer, if you are going to pay for the official parking. Now, there is some parking offsite from some offsite vendors, but I just haven't used them because it's hard to get around and stuff like that there. So anyways, it's $30 if you buy it in advance. They'll tell you it's $25, but then there's a $5 Ticketmaster fee, and so it's $30. And that sounds like a lot, because it is. But if you don't pay it in advance and you come to the game and try to pay with some cash, I don't even know if they take cash, but they will take some sort of payment at the game, they're going to charge you $40. $40 to park is ridiculous. So while I think $30 is too much, I've been paying it because it sounds better than $40. So it's expensive to park. If best bet is like, go with, some friends, maybe you pay the parking, your friends buy you a beer or two. I've done that. Kata's saying he saw some people parking by Extreme. Yeah, you might be able to do that. It's a healthy walk. I don't really want to make that walk. Maybe I'm lazy. Yeah, and there's right across from gate 2, there is somebody out there that is doing some like valet parking, and I know they raised their prices because in the beginning of the season they were charging like $20, $25 for valet, and then if you would let them park the car, which is then a little further away, it was only $10. But I know they've raised their prices, so their prices are a little bit closer to what the stadium is charging, maybe $5 less or something like that. So I'll just park at the official stadium parking. And footballer, yeah, I agree. It seems like a ripoff how much they charge to park, but that's, they're going to charge that to park whether the team's good or bad. They've got their their price model of how they plan on making their money back, and I guess that's just it. I mean, how much is it to go and park at a Miami Marlins game? I don't know. I'm asking you guys. How much is it to park at the Miami Dolphins game? Because, I imagine Dolphins games are probably $30 or more, but that's the Dolphins. Dolphins they're a bigger deal. The Marlins, not as much of a big deal. I know the Florida Panthers, heck, you could park for free because you could park across the street at Sawgrass Mills. They don't really want you to do that, but everybody does. I've done it. And you can do that for free. One World, One Goal says that she was excited, so she left one right after the game, and I love that. Oh, Kata, yes. Kata, yes. I did see the guy run on the field. Right after the game, a fan looked like he was from the supporter section, ran onto the field just before he could get tackled. And he was starting to get escorted out. And it was, I think it was Matuidi that ran over to him and told the bouncer to kind of like chill out for a second. And then gave the guy his jersey. So the guy got a jersey, and it looks like he just got escorted back into the stands. It didn't look like he got escorted out of the stadium or arrested, because that really could get you arrested. But the guy got away with a shirt. Got a shirt. Not bad. I would not take that chance, though. The Dolphins are playing right now. I was actually just watching the Dolphins game. They were winning, but not by much. Like 4 points. I don't know about now. Kata is saying it's $20 for the Heat. Interesting. I would expect it to be more. Jazz Fusion is in here. It's just playoffs smell like bacon. Exactly, because my wife was making breakfast. She was making bacon in the morning. I was making my image. I was trying to think of a show title. Playoffs do smell like bacon. Bacon's good. But in my house, it's turkey bacon. Because you got to try to save a few lbs here and there. You got to pick and choose your fatty meats, I guess. So it's turkey bacon for in this household. Chris Arjun, welcome. I see you're just now getting in. Eric Thomas, where is Eric Thomas? He was supposed to be here this weekend. Eric Thomas was supposed to be here in South Florida this weekend. Guy's a traitor. Hanging out with up there with the purple up in Orlando, I think. I'm not sure. I think that's where he was. Little coffee, keep me up. Giovanni, welcome. He's new, but he's not. All right. Well, welcome. Glad you're here. Yes, Eric, that was your bad. I'm going to change the color of your name right here to purple or something, I think. Should do that. Baldwin's in the house. Baldwin 4. Welcome. Still waiting on Ed. So those of you that are just showing up, wondering where Ed might be, he told me he was going to be running a little bit late. So Eric is asking me not to put him on blast. Now, if the shoe was on the other foot and I went to Orlando, I think Eric would put me on blast. So therefore, I don't know. I don't know if I should give him a break. Esteban has a question here. And this is great because I have some things to talk about, but this is I really love, especially when it's just you and us, to talk to you guys a little bit more. Peter, if the goal is simply to make it to the playoffs without showing more creativity, goal power, and domination, this team is better off not making it than to get some suckered punched. I don't agree. You have to see some progress. Making the playoffs this year with how bad the season started is making progress. You can't build Rome in one day, right? Is that the saying? Something like that. The three-man back with the two wingers at wingbacks has been a revelation. I mean, Christian McCoon I thought was terrible. Now in this three-man back, he's great. Figal is really shining as that sweeper back, so the defense is definitely showing a lot better. Our issue is really with our attackers right now. So we need more creativity. You're right. We need more creativity. But this year we got to use what we got. And look, that goal that Higuaín scored, would he have gotten to that ball? Would he have been able to pick off that pass earlier in the season? I mean, it wasn't like a big run, but that's progress for him. So I don't know. I think making the playoffs is progress for this team for this year. And then next year, we got to see better progress. We've got to see them shed a few of these DPs. and get somebody new. But we are a little bit tied in cash next year as well. But if we drop a player, I don't know how that all works with the, if they're gonna have to buy out a player or something like that so they can free up some space on the roster, not only for a DP but also money. Chris Arjun is asking if I enjoyed the game. Well, I am kind of giving my thoughts now, but yeah, the general feeling of was amazing. It was so exciting to see the crew. Last time I saw the crew in person, I was wearing a Miami Fusion shirt when they played the crew the last time we saw the crew down here. So it was awesome. It was great. I mean, the stadium was pretty good crowd, over 15,000, pretty good for the current situation that we're in. And I was so excited. I'm cheering. The guy behind us, we got a goalie guy was back. We got a goalkeeper guy was back yelling. And look, he made a couple great saves. Columbus could have been back in this game, but our Dutch keeper did a great job. So I mean, look, even when we lose, I have fun going to the games, but it just felt really good walking out of that stadium, seeing. I mean, it was a great night. Loved it, and I just think the team is. I get excited when I see the progress that we're making. All right, let's get to one of the voicemails here, and then we'll get back to some more comments. So let's go to that voicemail that I received as I was heading out of the stadium. Here is One World, One Goal. Oh, I don't think it's playing. Hang on a second, guys. I've got to make an adjustment here. Play win and then all the time. Now it should work. Sometimes I got some technical difficulties, guys. All right, let's see if this works this time.
Hey, Peter and Uncle Ed and all the great fans. Woohoo, we won. So you got to tip the hat to Phil Neville because everyone was like, I don't know if this guy should be coach, but look how well he has turned this team around. It wasn't pretty, but we won. And they're grinding them out. It was, I believe, our third clean sheet in a row. And then, of course, it was lovely on the broadcast for everybody that is stuck watching at home. Ray Hudson and everybody gave a lovely tribute to our Miami Fusion because the last time Miami played Columbus was a big 4-3 win. Cracky got, I think, 1 goal and 3 assists. Of course, because number 17 scored, along with a couple others I can't even remember. But it was nice to hear Ray talking about our Fusion, and I was excited to see he got some nice tweets on Diego, so it was a very nice, memorable game. All right, love you guys. Love the show.
All right, thank you so much there. Some comments. It seems like, Esteban, I love your comments every week, but you are a little bit negative. I don't understand. The only positive thing I see is the fans are still showing up, but this team is not inspiring me, and I am a fan. I am glad you're a fan, but look, I try to be a positive person, and I don't like negativity around me. When I'm at work, for example, and you're in an office environment, it's inevitable that you're going to have some negative people around you. Well, I don't keep them around me. I shut them out, put on the headphones, whatever. I don't want any negativity around me. I like to look at things a little more positive. Maybe I'm naive about some things, maybe, whatever it is, but I like to be positive. And I'm into going to the games to have fun, and it is fun. And they've been becoming a lot more fun to watch, and that's progress. So some fans, and maybe Esteban, you're one of those, that you're a big fan, but you're just hard to please. And maybe I'm easier to please, right? So we're all different. And I learned a long time ago, you can't tell somebody else how to be a fan. You're maybe a little bit more critical than some of us. But as long as you're going to the games, that's great. But, and that's when I talk about sometimes these comments on Facebook and Twitter, and I see there is so much negativity. Can't we just be happy for a week? Can't we celebrate a little bit? All right. It looks like looks like somebody has just graced us with his presence. Uncle Ed is in the house.
How you doing, guys? Sorry about the Serrano household is a walking calamity lately.
Ed, you sent me a picture, and I'm not going to go into that. It's your story to tell if you want to tell. But you sent me a picture yesterday, and I just said to my wife, things are just never easy for Ed. There's always something. It's just never easy for Ed. I'm like,
oh, man.
I'm
telling you.
I got a fairly stress-free life in comparison. And I don't know why. I mean, but yeah, you got it's it's not always easy, right, Ed?
Yeah, life sometimes throws you some jabs, so you got to just try to duck.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, lately I've been getting hit left and right. So, but make a long story short, we somebody tried to break into our house last night. Well, was it? I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And then today, I go with the wife to go and buy some stuff or whatever, and she forgets her wallet somewhere.
Oh,
so that's why I was late right now, because we were looking. Yeah, so I was just like, wow, dude, it's like this has been one hell of a ride lately.
And the funny thing is, it's not like there's not a pattern, right? There's not like, okay, I can see where the issue is and make an adjustment. These are just totally out there, random, different things that have one is not connected to another. So there's really nothing you could do other than just roll with the punches.
Dude, that's roll with the punches, and things will get better eventually.
There you go.
But the good things so far are that Inter Miami is winning.
Yeah,
so you probably covered a lot of that.
I mean, yeah, I've been talking a lot to our chatters and our great audience in here, and talking about being positive, because our buddy here Esteban is a very critical fan, and I'm not as much. So I've been babbling on a little bit and getting some thoughts in the chat room. But just what was your feeling? What was your thought of seeing Inter Miami, beat the Crew? The last time we saw the Crew in person was when they were playing against the Miami Fusion. So we're getting to see the Crew again, and they're still the Crew, even though they tried to change them several times.
Right.
But what nice goal by Higuain. I mean, what'd you think? What were your thoughts on the game?
That was Peter Brown poaching, if I ever saw anything.
Yeah, exactly.
The mistake from the defender. And he was in the right place at the right time, receiving it nicely.
And alert.
He wasn't going to miss.
He was in the game. He was alert enough to intercept it. Because, if he was facing the wrong direction or smoking his cigarette, eating his cheeseburger, he might have missed it.
Yeah. He was totally on top of that. It could have been any other player that could have gotten it and probably not made it. But he's got the experience where he just wasn't going to fail that one. So, if we it would have been one of the other players, perhaps they would have. But yeah, that was one that I'm glad we got, because we didn't get too many opportunities. So that was nice.
Some nice thoughts coming your way, Ed. Serrano was up. Here's a good one.
Carter?
Ed may have been evicted.
What, Jazz Fusion?
Damn,
no,
Jazz.
that's not what it was.
Damn, Jazz, that's harsh.
Damn, Jazz.
Here you go, Judge Dredd. Is Ed living in his car? My house is open, bro.
Appreciate it. Yeah, this time I'm here at the house, but I just got here, so I'm let me connect quick, because it was going to take me another 10, 15 minutes to connect everything. So I'll just
Baldwin 4 says, I thought Ed was living in Ted's garage. A little sympathy here for you from Jose. Poor Uncle Ed.
Oh yeah, man, Jose, I'm telling you, man. But yeah, I was ready to go to the game and everything, Peter. I had to watch it on TV. Yeah. So I was just like, oh man.
Yeah, Ted is
the whole family ready to go too.
Yeah. You had extra tickets and everything. Ted is remembering one of the times that we played the Fusion and the crew was at the Orange Bowl, and I was there. I think you were there as well. We got those shirts that those blue T-shirts they passed out that said something about the crew. I had that shirt for a long time, and then I finally misplaced it. Something happened. Don't have it anymore.
My dad has that shirt. The other day he wore it. He was. He WhatsApped me or whatever on video, and he had it on, and I forgot to take a picture. But I told him next time. I remember the following day. I was like, next time I need to take a picture of it, and I'm going to put it up because it's still in pretty decent shape.
One World One Goal says she still has that blue shirt
from the Orange Bowl, yeah.
Yeah, Judge Dredd says that he's going to get you a Rottweiler to safeguard your house.
I've got a Shih Tzu.
Well, that's not going to do it.
That's not going to do it because all he does is bark.
Ankle biter,
but
right?
It might be enough to get people to go away.
Yeah, but isn't that a little dog?
A little dog with little teeth. But he can bite. He's bitten me before.
But little dogs have little barks. You know, they bark a lot, but you know it's a little dog. He's like, arr, arr,
yeah.
As opposed to, woo, woo, you know, he's, arr, arr. I got a little dog. I know what they sound like. They're annoying as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't intimidate people. It's funny because the guy that was hooking up my internet came in on Friday, and the dog was just like barking next to him. He just looked down at him like, whatever, dude. And he's not very intimidating.
No, not at all. Looks like Kata's going to go to Caneswear. He says, go into Caneswear soon. My friend paid $150. I don't know what that's for, but maybe a shirt. And no way is he paying that ATM. Need that 10%. All right, go to Caneswear. Yes, go visit them.
Caneswear is the place to go. And if you can't go online, caneswear.com, and get it. That's how I do it sometimes because I can't always go up there. But you'll get it the next day. I got my stuff quick.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's listen to another voicemail, and then there's some, start talking maybe a little bit about the next game, and then also because I know we've got Richard Greenberg in here, who's a Toronto fan, so we can start talking about that. Plus, I also want to talk about something we saw about some books, Ed. I do want to touch on that before we get too far. So maybe before we get to Toronto, let's talk about...
Did you get the pictures?
I've got some evidence to show. And so let's play this voicemail. Let's get to this, talk about the voicemail, and then let's get to the books, and then we can talk about what's coming up. Here we go. All right, it's not playing again. Why does this keep happening today? All right, but I know how to fix it because I did it last time. All right, here we got to do something like this. Then we go win. Then we go all the time. Walking you guys through my IT
setup thing.
The IT stuff here. All right, this should work now.
Fam. Damn.
That's an imposter.
This is Ed Serrano from Derek Reese Boulevard, Bonnie, Florida. So the game last night, it was an ugly game, I gotta admit. The first half was good. Second half, so here's the thing. I watch a lot of European football. And like I was watching Roma today, AS Roma. It's one of my favorite teams. When they're breaking and they have like a 3-on-1 break or even a 3-on-2 break or something, it's going to take a lot to stop them. It's going to take a great defensive play. And then the really big teams like Manchester City and Bayern Munich, same thing. When Inter Miami have breaks, they usually stop themselves, like a really bad pass, a clumsy play. It's not just an MLS thing because some of the MLS teams actually do possess the ball better and do make less juvenile mistakes. Even the Miami Fusion back in the day, whenever they were a lot more, it seemed like a lot more offensively competent, at least compared to the competition of their day. Anyway, they keep winning, so that's all that really matters, I guess. I'll just mention one other thing. I posted this in that Facebook group, but they have played 9 home games since opening the full stadium. So, and it's apples and oranges compared to the Fusion, but they're doing a lot better than the Fusion did in their first 9 games. They're averaging almost 15,000 per game, whereas the Fusion average around 10,000 per game at this point, after their first 9 games. Again, apples and oranges. These aren't even really the first 9 games for Inter Miami, but it's just they're just doing a lot better as far as popularity. Their owners have a lot more money to promote the team and stuff. But anyway, I guess that's all I have to say. And since this is Ed Serrano, you'll be seeing me soon in my car when I pop in for my part of the show. Bye.
When he talks about the stadium, 15,000, yeah, it is better. But of course, we expected more, and sure, it's a COVID time. And actually, I was sitting there with our friend Julio Caballero at the game, and it's kind of talking about that a little bit, just that how, and there's no way to know, right? How much is it the fact that the stadium's not full? How much is it that we're in COVID times and people don't want to go in that situation? Or is it because they were bad for a good period of time? And that, I always said, they had to come out guns blazing and play well to win over the South Florida. It's a tough sports market. Is it because they were bad? Or is it because Fort Lauderdale is not the best market? I mean, I don't think that last part is true. I think Fort Lauderdale is a great market, but I don't know for certain, if the state, so I keep thinking, is it one of those 3 things? And there's no way to really to tell. I mean, because the COVID stuff's going to go away at some point, and the team's going to get better at some point, and that may line up at the same time, and then we may have a full stadium, so you still wouldn't be able to tell which was the real issue, Or if it never gets better, is it because it's in Fort Lauderdale? And the only way to really prove whether or not it's a Fort Lauderdale issue is for when the stadium opens in Miami. And if it's full in Miami, then you go, well, I guess that's a better market, right? So there's no way to answer my question. But I was sitting there just kind of pondering it as I'm watching the game, because it does irk me when I look over in that west side and I see so many empty seats, and those are expensive tickets. Are they too pricey? I don't know. What are your thoughts, Ed?
Well, I think it's a combination of a lot of things. Like everything that you mentioned, I think you're right. COVID has a lot to do with it. A lot of people aren't going. Things come up. See what happened to me? Things come up and you just can't show up. But I'm a season ticket holder, so I don't know if they count those tickets, which I imagine they would.
I don't think they
No?
do.
Okay.
I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's tickets scanned, because there was one time I went to a game and I scanned my ticket and the guy was like, I'm by myself. And somehow it seemed like he knew I had more tickets, because he's like, are you only scanning one? I said, well, I have 3, but I'm only using 1 tonight. And so I got the feeling that it's tickets scanned. I don't know that for certain, but I think.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. Richard Greenberg.
They still made my money. I didn't show up though.
Right. So look, if they sold, 15, 17,000 season tickets, they still got the money. So they don't really care if you're in the stadium, other than the fact that they're not making concessions and parking. Right.
Right.
Right. Eric Thomas. If you guys think 15K is bad, I would happily invite you to Red Bull Arena any night and to Yankee Stadium to see New York City FC. They make the Inter Miami look like Atlanta or Seattle. Oof. Well, yeah, I mean, but at the same time, we don't want to compare ourselves to other poorly attended teams. Right. We came into this league very cocky, going around, the ownership at least, going around saying kind of like, we're going to teach the league what football is. We came into here saying we're going to be the next Atlanta, right? And so, and the fact that we lost a team makes me very, very conscious of the crowd. Like, I'm always nervous of the crowd dipping too much and the ownership going, I'm done. Now, we're not in the old MLS. I think somebody else would come up and buy the team. I don't think it's not the old MLS. It's not what it used to be. But it's just ingrained in me to be a little scared.
Yeah. I'm not too scared at this point. I think, as opposed to last time, the Miami Fusion was owned by one guy who was rich, but he wasn't, billionaire rich.
No, a millionaire in a billionaire game.
Exactly. So that was the reason why he couldn't keep losing money. In our case, we've got, so far we have a few billionaires and a millionaire, you could say, in Beckham, who are holding this team up. So in that sense, we're okay. They knew they were coming in this, they were going to lose money for a few years. And, that's how sports is, I'm sure they can do write-offs, et cetera, but we were pretty sure that these guys were going to be able to hold up, without a problem, that they weren't going to go away. So in that sense, I'm not too worried if attendance goes pretty low, because I don't really think it's going to happen. It's a whole different, monster now.
I've also said that I think MLS really wanted Miami mainly for the television market. To say they have the gateway to South America. I think having also that big footprint, having a foot deep in the South, which, we don't act like we're in the South, but we are, right? And so being southern
there is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we're very northern for the southern area. But, I think it's really good for their television contracts to be in Miami. So I'm going to, Esteban is still coming at me a little bit here. So let's talk about this real quick and then we'll move on. Peter, be honest with me. No, I'm going to lie. Haven't my critical comments been more factual and things that need to improve than simply be negative? So I don't know. They seem a little negative there, Esteban. Are they factual? Are we lacking in creativity? Sure, but your points were that, the way I read it at least, my interpretation of your points were that we weren't making progress, and I think we are making progress. If getting in the playoffs is that progress, in your opinion, it's not, because they're not being creative. My opinion, it is progress, because we were so bad that making the playoffs is an accomplishment. They've pulled themselves together. They got a ping pong table, and now everything's great. Because Neville brought up the ping pong table again in his post-game conference. Apparently, that ping pong table is really, really important to them. So
it's an important thing. I haven't watched it, but I imagine.
Yeah, they do need to do some ping pong videos, but put something together. And hey, look, we know that some people from the team watch us here. Do that. Get your marketing team together. You put together some cool interviews that you put up on your website and put up on YouTube and stuff like that. They're great. Do one of like a ping pong tournament with the players, having some fun, showing them what it's like in the locker room a little bit. We've seen what's in the locker room, but showing this ping pong table that we've all heard about, let's see it. So Ted is actually calling out Esteban, saying that Esteban is Derek Reese in disguise. Now, that's a deep cut. Those of you that are Strikers fans would know who that is. Those of you that are new, you don't necessarily know who that troll is. But that is a troll. Not Esteban, but Derek Reese. I wouldn't say that. That is very, very mean of you, Ted. I would never say that about our buddy Esteban. So, all right. Ed.
All right, we got to talk about. You talked about New York City FC, didn't you?
And that is part of this as well, right?
Well, where do you want to start?
Let's set it up. So we've heard, it's no secret that Marcelo Clore and Masayoshi Son want to sell their portion of Inter Miami. They want out, and it was reported on The Athletic, and that they want to sell it, and that Jorge Mas and his brother are apparently willing to buy them out, and that they're going to get a loan from Goldman Sachs to make that happen. So I do have a little bit of concerns about that, but regardless. And then they're also going to continue to look for some more investors. But they have enough money, enough credit, I guess, if they're getting a loan, to get this done. A loan, I question, because then I start wondering, okay, well, you don't want to put all your money into it. So I get taking a loan so you can space it out. But then are we now a little more cash strapped to get those big expensive players if we're only got one billionaire? But that's a whole nother topic. But so we heard that Marcelo wants out. He hasn't been promoting Inter Miami on Twitter as of late. And
right.
Well, let's go with Twitter first, Ed. This is what we saw here on Twitter. Marcelo, is this today, I think, or 22 hours ago? So this was yesterday. Is celebrating a goal from New York City FC. Marcelo tweets, "That's what I'm talking about," as he shares a video from New York City scoring a goal against New England.
You'd imagine, being an owner of Inter Miami, that he would be celebrating our goal.
You would think his share would be the Higuain goal. And you can appreciate another team in the league, but, I mean, they're in our division. It's not even you're appreciating somebody from the West. They're in our division. And
I get it. All right. He's in New York City right now. He's working from there. But I know that he's also somewhat associated with New York City FC via the Manchester City connection that he has. He's got a connection with them because they, I think, are partners with Bolívar, which is his other team in Bolivia.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, they've got something going on, which I don't know, probably rubs David Beckham the wrong way because, this is Manchester City. He's a Manchester United fan.
Right.
So there might be some conflict there. I don't know. Call me crazy.
I don't like it, Ed. And Baldwin says, I'll put it up again. He says, I'll miss Clore. He's a good guy. The way I feel about Clore lately, I know he spent some time in Japan and his partner is Japanese. So I say, sayonara, Marcelo. Get out of here. I don't want you around anymore if you're gonna tweet like this. I appreciate what you did to get us to this point, but I don't like that.
He did. If it wasn't because of him, we would not have a team right now.
Right.
He was the one that started the whole thing. So, seeing him tweet that kind of hurts. Him wanting to leave hurts also because we have a history with him. We passed around stuff.
Exactly.
For him back in the day because he was one of the people that answered our call for investors to Miami. That answered Julio Caballero, to be more exact. And, we're very grateful because he did that and he got our foot into Major League Soccer, and here we are today. But now he's talking about another team. His Twitter still says he's one of the owners of Inter Miami.
Yeah.
But it looks like he's already going to the dark side.
Yeah, and Baldwin also mentions he snitched on the partners who probably wouldn't do the right thing. So he's still got his back. I just take that first part. He snitched on his partners. Snitches get stitches, right? I don't like that. I don't like that either. I mean, okay, you want to do the right thing. Keep your drama in-house. And I don't like that either. I mean, I'm all about doing the right thing, but I got issues with that. So anyways, there's more to this though, Ed. There is more.
Oh boy.
Because you and I did a video, and if you haven't seen this series of videos, there's like 4 videos plus one compilation video of all of it together, where it's one of our most viewed videos, the tour of the stadium that you and I did before last season. We got a great tour. We got to go inside the owner's suite.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was pretty nice in there, really nice. One of the things that they have there, it's just a neat little cool touch. It's super minor, but it's cool. They have a TV and kind of a table underneath the TV, like a nice looking, ornamental looking cabinet and everything. And on that shelf cabinet thing, whatever, they have 4 books like this.
Bolivia, Japan, Miami, London.
4 books, each book representing one of the owners. And I saw that and I thought it was a super cool touch. It is so minor, so little, but a neat design function and a nod to the 4 owners we have. And I thought that's super cool. So now we have a new image here. And I know that one's a little harder to see, but I wanted you to see the whole thing. This was tweeted out by Chris Henderson, who was in the owner's suite yesterday. And you see 2 books are missing. There is no more Bolivia or Japan on the shelf. And if we do a little bit of let me see here. Let's do this. You see a little bit more of a close-up there, so you can see it just says Miami and London there.
And you can't even say, okay, they put them on the side somewhere. No, they're not even on there.
And
no
they're
Bolivia,
moved.
No Japan.
They were off to the side when we went in there, off to that right side. Now they're directly underneath the TV. They've been moved. And so, I mean, to me, it looks like it's a done deal. It's official. And this is not official. There's no press release, but this is as official as it can be without actually being official. They've removed their books, Ed. Where did those books go?
Gone.
You don't just return
gone.
those books to the library for nothing.
That means, unfortunately, it saddens me to say, but these are 2 guys that at least Masa-san, who was he is incredibly rich. I think he's the richest person in Japan now. Incredibly deep pockets.
Yep.
And Marcelo Clark, who's another billionaire.
Yep.
Who were losing. There's a lot of money leaving there. You mentioned it a little bit also, and they're getting a loan, the Moss brothers, to buy the other guys out. I see what they're trying to do, but I'm kind of nervous like you, man. It's a lot of money that they're going to ask to borrow.
Yeah, so they're gonna borrow some money, and I think the valuation of the club was somewhere around what, $650? I think that was what the number was.
It's gone up, yeah.
So it's gone up.
Yeah,
so,
it's gone up.
So hey, that's a nice business move on Clore and Masayoshi-san. They're gonna make some bank. So, but yeah, so now they've got to take out a loan. And so now they've talked about they want to be big spenders. We're the highest spending team in the league right now. They want to continue that. They said that, all the mistakes they've made, they're not going to change their goals of going out and getting the biggest talents and all that kind of stuff. None of that's going to change. But this could change that, because now if the pockets aren't as deep, and I know, Jorge Mas, and I don't know exactly how much money he has. I know they've got a ton of money, but his billions, it's still less than what they did have available to them. So now there's less billions available, and so I just hope, that does not affect. But hey, look at it this way. They can't spend a ton of money over the next 2 years anyways, because they've been docked $1 million each year. So they're going to be $1 million less each year. So they got to go on a budget a little bit. So now he could save a little money while he's and there's rumors that he was they were in talks with an Argentinian and a Saudi Arabian group, 2 different groups to kind of become partners of the club as well. The Saudi group or is it Saudi or somewhere in that part of the world? That makes sense, seeing that Beckham has ties with some the Paris Saint-Germain, who are from that side of the world. I'm not exactly sure what country, but they're from that side of the world. So there's a big chance that they probably already have people lined up. Yeah. They just probably want to take their time finding those other investors. I'll feel good, once they name the other investors, because we need to know that they're not going to let up on this whole. We want to be a big club in the world. I think we still have that ability to get there. Beckham might not be a billionaire yet, but I think he's going to get there eventually. The way that he's going, him and his wife. But we depend on them. We depend on the team depends on their pockets right now, from what it looks like. And there's a proof right there, guys. If nobody else had mentioned it before, there it is. Yeah. All right. Well, let's. It looks like I I think One World, One Goal is getting frustrated with us bagging on Chloe because the way she says this, and maybe it's the way I'm reading it. Let me move this down. Again, now, of course, I'm reading into it some Again, as Chloe was CFO, that's financial. He was the one to answer to Don Garber. He has a partnership with New York City City Group in Bolivia, so they try to get Messi at Man City. Okay, yeah, I get all that. It doesn't mean and I know that he has the responsibility to report to Don Garber. I don't care. That's the thing. I understand One World. I don't care. You shut your mouth. You talk to your partners. You deal with it. You keep it in house. And that's just how I feel. And as far as him, having a partnership with New York City FC, have your partnership, whatever. Don't go tweeting celebrating their goal when you're still an owner of another Eastern team. I don't like it. I don't like it. Footballer
doesn't feel good.
Footballer is feeling that maybe the Moss brothers are more of a liability to this club and to the other owners. Liability maybe because they're willing to break the rules. I get it. We don't know all the story behind the scenes, how much they knew, how much did they tell, Tubby to bend the rules? Did he run it by them and they said, nah, go for it, because they're used to doing things the way they do things in Miami and things get done the way, I don't know. I mean, that's us all putting words, we weren't there. We don't really know, but
maybe somebody will come out with the book, somebody that's got the inside and let us know what really happened. Yeah. It'd be interesting to find out.
And look, the Moss brothers, they're very hands-on to some extent. We did read that reports out of Inter Miami were that they were maybe a little too hands-on, and they hired people to do certain jobs and then didn't really allow them to do those jobs because they're just a little too hands-on. But all right, and exactly, Peter said, Peter Brown, don't care, people, shut up.
Peter thinks what Peter's going to think, by golly.
Yeah, I just don't like that Chloe sold us out, but I don't like that he's tweeting about New York City, but his book has been removed.
Yeah, when we saw that, I didn't like it either.
All right, so coming up, we've got a short, we got a lot of games in a short amount of time. Where is it? I wanted to pull out. Here's the schedule. Let me see if I can move things around, dummy. And come to Safari right here. Here we go.
There we go.
So on Tuesday, we're traveling up to Toronto, and Richard Greenberg says we should have an easy win there because he thinks they're going to play a lot of their kids, their young players, because their season's basically over. That could also be considered a trap game, right? Because we're going to go in there thinking we can win, thinking we could beat them, and
it's a trap.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Like Admiral Akbar would tell you. Then look, that's a Tuesday. We just played on Saturday. Now we're playing again on Tuesday, and then Friday, the 17th, we're back home to play against New York Red Bull. And then
why on a Friday?
Friday, and then the 22nd, which is what, my math is bad. Was that 5 days later or something like that? Is we're playing against Nashville. Nashville is very good. Nashville is right there in second place in the schedule in the Eastern Conference.
We did beat them though last time.
Sure, so it's doable of course, but this is a lot of games in a short period of time. And then again, then a week later, we're up in Atlanta. So that's a little more. We got a week in between the Nashville and the Atlanta game. That's normal. But this Toronto, New York, Nashville, and then also the game we just played, Columbus. That's a lot of games in a very short period of time. So it's definitely that's I'm having a hard time here. Changing. That is a challenge for this team. I mean, a lot of players are going to get opportunities because Coach even said, look, the players that started on Saturday are not going to be all the same players that start on this coming Tuesday game because he's got to rest players. So we're going to see some different formations. I saw some people saying here, so Baldwin is saying, so Lord Breck Shea losing his spot to Gibbs. Well, Gibbs is injured. So whenever Gibbs gets better, I mean, I don't know how bad his injury is, but he's been injured. So I think if Gibbs was not injured, he would have been starting over Breck Shea, period. So it would just be going back to the way it should be, right? But hey, how about that? How about, speaking of Breck Shea, how about that? I don't know how many of you guys saw that picture somebody posted on Facebook of Breck Shea at Firehouse Subs. Did you see that, Ed?
No, I didn't.
There was an Inter Miami fan that was sitting there eating Firehouse Subs, and Breck Shea was up in there waiting for his food to get, he's standing around waiting for his sandwich. Now, the guy did not go. The guy did not go up and get a picture with Breck. He said he didn't want to bother and wanted to leave him alone. I think I would have gone and bothered him because he's not like some big star that you're like, oh, I got to give him his space. I think he would be honored and excited for someone to come up and recognize him. And
I would have said something.
But I've got more important questions, Ed. Are you familiar with Firehouse Subs?
No.
You've never had Firehouse Subs?
Never.
Oh, Ed, then I can't even have this conversation with you. Chat, what's your favorite Firehouse sub? What kind of sub is our mullet man there getting at Firehouse Subs? I mean, I'm partial to the hook and ladder myself. I like the hook and ladder, Ed. The hook and ladder's got a little ham, a little turkey, some cheese, something like that. It's been a long time since I've lost my weight. I have not had a Firehouse Subs because it's not exactly the healthiest thing in the world. But Breck can deal with it. He's running a mile. I mean, he can eat something that's fattening, no big deal. But I'm curious, what does Breck Shea? See, that's what I would want to do. I'd go Breck Shea and talk. I wouldn't talk soccer with Breck, other than saying, "Hey, great goal the other night." Let's talk sandwiches, Breck. What's your go-to Firehouse
Breck,
sandwich?
Yeah. I want to get Firehouse should name a sandwich after Breck Shea.
They should. Esteban.
The least they could do.
Esteban Mejia likes the hook and ladder. Eric Thomas is a Jersey Mike's fan. We're not talking Jersey Mike's, Eric, because he didn't go to Jersey Mike's. He went to Firehouse Subs because he cares about the firemen. Because $1 for every purchase goes to the firemen, something like that. I don't know.
That's a good thing.
Here we go. Baldwin likes the smokehouse beef and cheddar brisket. He bets he's getting that because he's from Texas, right? Yeah. All right. So Breck might go with the beef and cheddar, smokehouse beef and cheddar. All right. Is this right now making people run to their phone or something and looking up the menu on Firehouse Subs?
Well, if it does, maybe they should sponsor us. By golly, next time we'll have a sub.
Troy says the Breck brisket would be good. That's hard to say though, for me at least.
The Breck brisket.
Ed Ted Sikowski's got you, and he says the closest firehouse to you is on Flagler, about 4 or 5 miles. You can get there.
Well, Ted, you're gonna have to take me. I've never been there, so it's time you do something. Hook the Edgar up.
Yeah, exactly. And Esteban is right. Stay on topic. We're talking Firehouse. We're not talking Jersey Mike's. Jersey Mike's is pretty good, but we're talking Firehouse. Baldwin's hungry now. Ed's
this talk.
Ted's going off topic as well. He says true Miamians eat Miami Subs, not Firehouse. Okay, but Miami Subs is good. If I go to Miami Subs, I'm not getting a sub though, because they got so many other things. That's
true.
You go to Miami Subs. How many people go to Miami Subs and actually get a sub? I'm going to Miami Subs. I'm getting a gyro or a gyro, however you want to say it.
That's I like those too. What's his name? Ted's one of. Hold on, I gotta hang up on some.
All right, Ed's having some technical difficulties there. Here he's back. Footballer also rather go to Miami Subs. But again, footballer, if you go to Miami Subs, are you getting a sub? Or, I mean, you're getting a gyro. You're getting a platter. You're getting something. I don't know. I mean, yeah, they got some, And look, this conversation wasn't about, folks, it wasn't about what sub you like the best. It's about what's the best Firehouse sub, because Breck was at Firehouse. What's your best sub will be for our tailgate show in some off season? Because yes, I agree, Ted. Public subs are awesome. The pub sub is great. Is the pub sub better? Now everybody's talking about Wawa. Come on. We're talking Firehouse.
Yeah, everybody's getting off topic here.
Ed, your audio is messed up. Your audio is messed up. Anyways,
oh man,
I am having fun with the sub talk. But that sub talk pretty much wraps up our show. And Baldwin's PB, King of Tangents, is yelling at us for going off topic. I know, it's fun. I'm just having fun with you guys. Me yelling at you is fun. One World, One Goal says, Peter is very rational sometimes. It's nice to see. He balances us all out well. That's why this show is so good. And Ed is just Ed. That's why we love him too. Aw.
oh,
All right.
shit.
Okay. Lots going on. There's questions about sponsors and predictions and stuff like that. But we could talk about some of those things in another show. Ed has been sitting in his car long enough. I'm sure he wants to get inside the house. And then we could continue our sub talk next week if you guys really want to talk subs. But if you're going to talk subs,
Okay, a couple games we can cover.
if you want to talk subs next week, I got to make sure I've got one in my possession. So everybody needs to come to the show with a sub. If we're going to do sub talk, everybody's got to have a sub, and we got to sit there and enjoy our subs while we talk about Inter Miami. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for playing along. It was a lot of fun, especially the sub talk, which was a lot of fun. And if you want to have some more fun, go to Caneswear and get yourself some Inter Miami gear, save a little money, and I don't know why Jazz is saying that so wrong, but apparently something I said wrong. But anyways, I'm sure it was something to do with a sub. Thanks so much for watching. And, we will do this again next week. Please, like, share, and subscribe, and let's have some fun again. Later, everybody. Thanks so much.